Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of the LegacyKnitz podcast. My name is Chelsea.
My name is Sue.
I am the daughter mother.
Other grandmother.
And holy moly, it has been a while since we have been here with you, but wow, we are excited to sit down because we've got new yarn to tell you about. We've got new ventures to tell you about together, and yeah,
Lots of knitting.
lots of knitting.
I've been on a real knitting tear. I'm all about emptying my needles. I've never done this before.
Never?
Never. Where I've never had the impulse to be like, I have got to get everything off my needles.
I wonder what it is.
I don't know, but I'm collecting all my sock needles.
Ooh, I have the same exact thing, a DPN case with just them jammed in there.
I have so many sock needles. I'm about to have another pair go in.
Is that Curiouser and Curiouser?
This is Curiouser and Curiouser.
I have a pair to share as well out of that colorway. Okay, so should we do just like a little life chat update? Because I feel like it was so funny as I was getting ready for this podcast. So like you mentioned, Mom, we have a new like audio podcast via Patreon, and they're always very focused conversations. But then when we scheduled to sit down and do this podcast, it was like a breath of fresh air in the way of like, we don't have to do any planning for this. We don't have to like think of a topic. Like we can literally grab our knitting. We haven't done it in so long that I'm really looking forward to it.
Same. And I feel like just having, even though on our other one, we do go to a natural flow, but we need a starting point. And for this one, we don't need a starting point. We can just chat.
Yeah.
Love that. It's quite a relief in some sense.
I agree. That's exactly how I feel.
I do love the very directive conversations. I do love them, but I stress about them before we start. This is just like, yeah, just let me know when you're ready. I'm ready.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that we can grab our knitting, like I always am inclined to do that with the audio podcast, but then I'm like, I really need my whole physical being to be in those conversations.
Same, which is so unusual for me because knitting typically focuses me, but for that one, it's like, I really need to be sharp. I feel it. Now people are going to listen. They'll be like, you didn't sound very sharp.
It's more of the mental attitude.
Yes. Yes.
Well, you want to know what I noticed? Every time I edit one of those podcasts, I use my body and my hands a lot when I'm talking. Like I find like I'll be like moving with the conversation and like I'm like, there's the dancer in me that like when I feel like I have to express something, my whole body goes into it and I'm just moving and so yeah, it's definitely like a very different feel from these kinds of podcasts.
It is. It is. So yeah, so what have you been up? You've had a major life change.
I have. It's been so long. I don't even remember where I was at in life last time we recorded.
Well, I think we were still both full-time.
Oh, yes. Can you hear that?
I'm positive.
Yes, no, you're 100% right. So I am no longer full-time. I mean, I am as much as I ever was, I guess, but now I am back to being the primary caretaker for the kiddos. Financially, it was just too tough. I'm glad we tried it. It was really nice to have the freedom to do it. And but now Justin is back to where he used to work. He has a new position though, and he's really liking it. He's taking to it. He's still working from home 100% of the time with the option to head into the office if he wants to. But yeah, so I am back to kind of working when I can, which, you know,
you're getting back into a rhythm. It was really hard at the start because he was in the training stage where he didn't have any flexibility, and that was just impossible.
It was the hardest 4 weeks that we've had.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's especially when you're used to having a partner that can jump in when they need to or when you need them to.
Totally.
It's very different. And let's be honest, these shifts, the girls are experiencing these shifts and changes, and they have to adapt to them.
Yes.
And I'm sure that is a piece of it for them even.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, the girls are crying right now and it's very distracting. I'm not sure what's going on.
Oh.
But yeah, no, for sure. Like we definitely, I mean, it was the first week was tough. I mean, it gradually, of course, got better.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it was a big change. We've definitely found a rhythm to things. Um, and yeah, like it's going well. I'm excited for September or like at the end of summer because at that point Lily will be registered as a student at home. We did decide to homeschool her for this first year, and then every year we will revisit and see how she feels and what she wants. But that will be another big shift that's coming down the lane. So yeah, I don't know.
It's exciting. I'm so excited for you. So excited for you. In my day of having young ones, homeschooling was very different.
Mhm.
And I have to admit, I was not super like pro homeschooling. And it's funny because it's done such a major shift, and I love it, and I'm so excited for you and for them. It's really exciting, and Lily wants it,
So
which
bad.
is so amazing, and it's so amazing to think at 5 years old that she would know that,
Mhm.
but I do think she knows that.
Well, and who knows? It could change next year. Like, I don't
Oh,
know, and I'm like prepared for any situation. I just want like this wasn't completely up to her. It wasn't completely up to us. Like we tried different things. It's where we landed with it. And like we've had a lot of experiences leading up to this. We've done a lot of talking and asking questions and yeah, this
mhm.
just feels right for right now. So,
Yeah, I would agree with you 100%.
yeah,
It's just exciting. I'm so excited for all of you, and I love that. As you know, I think we make decisions in life, some of us, and like it's something I've learned is no decision is forever.
totally.
It's just like you have to be flexible, and exactly, she may all of a sudden feel that, or you may feel that she needs it. There might be something that goes on that creates that. But it's like no decision. I think we like just take forever with just like, oh, it's such a big decision. It's like, well, it is, but it also, everyone is free to change their minds.
Totally. And it's also like decision making is such a process. And I think for me, I didn't really realize that until we landed on a decision because I mean, it was a 2-year long process for us to make this decision. And it
Mm.
was a hard 2 years of thinking and experiencing. And it was stressful. It was really, really stressful.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
It just reminds me, and we've talked about this a lot, our decision to wait to send you to kindergarten because you were born in November, and you were very smart, and you were, I mean, in most people's eyes, it's like, are you insane? Why are you not sending her to school? It's like, there was a lot of reasons. But the main, I mean, you were tiny, you were shy, it was like, yeah, so she's so smart. A, that doesn't matter. B, it's like, if you're if you're not comfortable, whatever, it's like, but the final decision was, our pediatrician had said, I've talked to a lot of parents about this, and I've never had somebody regret not sending their child, but I had a lot of people regret they did. And that was the final clincher, along with you being the oldest in the class and the first to drive and all that stuff. That was like, you can't think of the moment. You have, for that decision, you have to think down the road.
absolutely.
So I remember that it was 2 years of talking to people and wondering and going back and forth. So I remember, like, as you were going through it, going, oh, this was exactly that for me. It's stressful.
It is. It definitely is. And I mean, Lily will be
She's on
five,
the older side too,
she'll be 5.5 this September.
which is
So
great.
yes, I am happy with that. But it is so funny because there are some days where I like look up and she'll be playing with Charlie in the back of my head, I'll be like, oh man, like there are kids her age in school right now. Like, is this okay? Not is this okay, but just like kind of not comparing, because I hate the word like comparison. I don't like comparing things, but just kind of thinking about where she could be versus where she is. And I always end up feeling good about it, but it does enter my mind every once in a while where I'm like, oh wow, there are a lot of kids her age that are like in a classroom setting right now. So it could be very different. Yeah, there wasn't really a point to that other than just like, I do recognize that the path we've chosen is unconventional, in a lot of ways, but I don't know. I mean, I think all kids are unique, but I think she's a really unique kid in a lot of ways.
I do too. And I will tell you what I see is she is thriving where she is. Like thriving.
Thank you. It does feel
So
that way. It does feel, I mean, she's still a kid and we still have a lot of hard days. Like it's not like thriving means she's doing perfectly, but
no. I think though she's growing and she's learning and she's absorbing and she's doing all those things in your setting.
Yeah, she's fulfilling a lot of her potential.
Yeah.
I agree. And so it feels good. So that's a big change that's coming. So yeah,
I'm
that's kind of
super happy with your decision.
thank you.
Not
It does
that it
feel really,
matters.
really nice to have your and dad's support. Like it really does mean so much.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter in a sense, but honestly, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for her. And I think unconventional,
New word.
new word. Let's teach that to Lily.
Let's do it. Unconventional, Lily.
Unconventional is good.
I agree. I agree. For
Yeah,
us, it works and it's been working so far. So
definitely.
okay, so another huge change, which I just remembered that's happening in about a month, we are getting 8 new family members.
You're having 8 new babies arriving.
I was gonna say suspenseful pause for anybody that doesn't know the news. We're getting chickens. I'm so excited.
I'm scared to death of them, but I'm so excited for you.
Don't worry, they will be well contained. We are going to be making a run. We have this is kind of fun news for this podcast because a lot of people know who Kelly is, the former owner of Must Love Yarn in Shelburne, Vermont, my local yarn shop. Her and her husband now run Fernbridge Farm, and
which is amazing.
It's so fun. We just went to visit them this past weekend and it was just such a blast. Their lambing season is just about to start, and Bob has graciously offered to build our coop. So I like blown away because when I messaged Kelly just to kind of like,
there are just no words for that generosity.
I know. Well, and like at first I was like, oh, this is going to be too much. Like, this is not something that people just do for other people. Like, this is going to make me feel uncomfortable. And then after we went to visit them, I got a real sense of like, one, Bob loves woodworking. Like our knitting to us is woodworking to him. Yeah. Like, I feel like he is one of those people that could do it day in and day out and just like, that would be his thing. He has a gorgeous shop in there. It's beautiful. It's heated. But literally when I talked to Kelly about it, Justin and I were going into the conversation being like, okay, we know this is going to be like a huge ask, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes, oh yeah, Bob loves whipping those projects off. It'll probably take him a couple days. I was like,
if it was you and Justin, you would have to start now. And there's a good chance the chickens wouldn't have anywhere to live till the fall.
We'd have house chickens.
I know.
I wouldn't.
No, we can't have that.
I was going to say, I wouldn't see you for probably a year.
Yeah.
But no, so it was just so, and it really is his passion. So anyways, we are really excited. We have been thinking about getting chickens for like 2 years. So the fact that it's finally happening is just cool.
It's so exciting. I think the girls, oh my gosh, that's what just makes me so excited that they're going to have this in their lives, even though again, I'll get used to it as long as they don't like come too close. Like I love looking at them.
Oh, we'll keep them in the coop and in the run while you guys are here. They will not be
Charlie
free
will
range.
be like, look, Grammy, I can't come up with a really funny name really quick.
I need to start thinking of names because the
You
girl
need names.
I want to do like all like really powerful women names.
Yes.
Like I want a Lizzo. I want a Lizzo's really the one that I have in my head. Like I want a Lizzo chicken because I love Lizzo. I'm obsessed with her. But oh shoot, what was I going to say? Oh, when we went to go visit them. So the last time we went to visit Fernbridge Farm, they had baby chicks. Like it was around the
I
time where
remember that video.
I know. And so when we got there, that was the first thing she's like, "Where's the baby chicks?" And I was like, "Oh, we're too early for the baby chicks, but we're gonna have our own." And but yeah, I think they're gonna love it.
I know. I am so happy that the girls don't have any of my fears of creatures. And I have to be really, really strong when I'm around them because I don't want them. Because you do inherit them. It's like you can't help it. It just happens.
Totally.
So I'm going to try to be really strong at all times, but I can do it. I know I can do it.
You can do it. You can absolutely do it, and I will help you.
Okay.
I will remove any threats to you before they reach you if the girls just happen to be carrying them around.
It's exciting. I'm going to be fine. I'm not worried.
You're going to be great.
I'm going to be great.
So yes, that's another big life change. The girls are so excited. We're going to be chicken farmers. So I was like, yes, we are.
So cool. Do you have to get a permit? Dad was asking me.
No, I need to ask. Perhaps.
You have to make sure that you're zoned correctly.
Well, I know we are because our neighbors have them.
Neighbors. That's what I think that's what I said to Dad.
Yes.
But I feel like you might need to have a permit of some sort, but I could be wrong.
I'll have to look into that, or I'll have Justin look into that. He's better at that kind of stuff.
Yeah, me too.
So man, that's my life update. Your turn.
So good. I don't have much.
Tell us about Winnie.
Dyeing fabric like crazy. For those of you who don't know, we are also counted cross stitch fabric suppliers to shops, and of course our good friend Rachel of Treehouse Fiber Arts sells all of our fabric in her shop, and so that's been really busy lately. Really busy. Other than that, life's kind of boring.
How's Winnie doing?
Winnie is good. Winnie is maturing really well. She's good. I have to say she had a little setback a couple weeks ago where I felt like she was going through like a toddler stage again, where she was getting a little fresh with me again. But she's such a love. She really is. It's like, unfortunately, she really doesn't care a whole lot about me. It's really Dad.
She's a daddy's
that
girl.
she spends all her time with. And oh my gosh, I saw something huge in the tree.
Like a hawk?
Oh no.
Or maybe
it's over in the woods. Everything is blending. We have a beautiful snowy woods right now. Beautiful. Anyways, so she really doesn't even acknowledge me till mid-afternoon. And she loves her ears to be like really massaged. So like I do all the things that would make her love me, but she really doesn't as much as Dad.
I mean, I was a daddy's girl for a very long time.
Everyone is, because all he does is everything everyone wants him to do. I've always been like the sergeant in the house, right? It's like, but he's going away skiing and she will be so forlorn. I'm not kidding. Her ears go back and they stay back till he gets home. She waits in the garage for him. It's so sad. It makes me so sad. She literally waits out there from the minute he leaves till he comes home.
Winnie.
I know. So,
and she's a really expressive dog.
Oh my gosh. She's a really intense dog.
Mm-hmm.
She's super smart.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's good though. I love her. She just doesn't really love me that much.
She does. She's like a toddler or a child where it's like she loves you the most because she's most comfortable being at her worst around you.
Thank you for that. And
That
she does really well at that.
she's just A1
She's really
performance,
good at that. So yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it's just been work busy, it feels like.
which is good.
Again, mostly fabric. We've been really killing the fabric scene right now.
Yes, your fabric is beautiful.
Thank you. It's really luck. Really, truly. I'm like, I don't even know how that happened.
Go with it.
I
Whatever
know.
it is, it's working.
It's much different than yarn, and it's a little more overwhelming because of the amount of time it takes.
Mm.
So I can wake up in the morning and soak yarn and dye part of it and hang it on the rack and no big deal. Like leave some soak in for a day, it's fine. Fabric, when you start, you have to finish. So you have to have a set amount of time. I'm getting good at it.
Mhm.
Like, and I like to be done by no later than 3 o'clock because the pressing is tiring and all of that. So,
Mhm.
so it's a long process that once you commit to it, you have to commit 1000%.
Right.
You can't leave anything half done, even just drying, because it needs to be pressed at a certain time. And so in that sense, it's very different.
Well, and it's impressive that you do it so often because I feel like you've said before that you're a commitment phobe. And honestly, like listening to that process, I could see myself having a hard time starting knowing those facts.
It's very hard.
I could
What I
see.
have learned is I can only dye enough yarn that or fabric that fills these racks.
Mhm.
That's the other thing. I'm a little I think I can do up to 30 yards a day because of my drying and the process. It takes a while.
Yeah.
Um, so I have to mentally prepare myself. I really do. It's like, okay, I'm going to do it on Tuesday because I know I have all day. I have no
Mhm.
interruptions. Like I can't have interruptions. I can't have an appointment,
Right.
which sounds easier than it is.
Yeah, no, I mean, you definitely have a lot of appointments and obligations and stuff, so I could see that. I'm
And I
just
have to have
impressed.
the stamina. I have to know that I have the stamina to carry through because it is very physical again.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of up and down and in and out but I do love it because I love the results. So yeah,
Well, life update then. I
I
like it.
know.
Should we talk a little knitting?
Let's talk knitting because I've been doing a lot of knitting.
Yes. And I don't know how long I have, to be perfectly honest, but we're just going to go.
Okay, let's just go.
Go. So, do you want to start?
Well, I have been knitting lots and lots of socks because I want to empty off the needles and I have lots started. And so I will start with this pair is what I'm working on now.
Love.
And this is the monkey sock, my favorite pattern by Cookie A. I do the pearls. Some do all knits. That's just confusing to me. I've never done it. And I don't even need I've made these so many times.
Yeah, those are definitely your go-to.
I love them. I made them. It's funny. I used a 50-gram ball and then this isn't the correct mini. The mini is more, just so people know, it's more of a periwinkle.
I can show you. I have my.
Oh, do you have it?
It's actually
Yes.
really good. So now you can see the comparison right on screen there.
Yes. So I mistakenly grabbed this. I love it. I'm super
Beautiful.
happy with them. So, and that's the one I'm finishing. But look at how big I made them. I made a super long cuff. What was I thinking? So all I have left, my point is don't make them this big with 50 grammars. Cut out. Like this is way too long of a cuff. But
Oh, yeah.
I have this much left. And I have one, two, three. I might make it.
I think you will. I think you will just make it.
I think I will just make it, but it's a little stressful. But what I had come to the conclusion was I'm just going to, wherever I run out, I'm going to finish with this.
Yeah. Yeah,
Whether it's
exactly.
still part of the pattern, I don't care. They're mine.
Right. And the
I
toes go in the shoes.
Exactly, exactly. I am in love with the yarn. It's our signature color of the year, Curiouser and Curiouser. First of all, I love the name.
It's
It just came out of the blue.
I love it.
I love the name and I love the pattern and they're so squishy.
I'm gonna hold mine up at the same time.
And which pattern did you do?
Blueberry waffle. That's my go-to when I want a
Um,
texture. Blueberry, but mine are DK.
And did we offer both skeins as an option? Okay, so you can also do a combined skein. Mini skeins. You can do a green and a periwinkle, right?
I believe so. I believe so. If I'm wrong,
think
I'll put
so.
it on the screen, but I'm pretty sure yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love these so much. DK weight is, I mean, we haven't been here in a long time, but
Yeah.
I love them.
I love it. I love it. So I'm finishing that one. Should I just show all my socks?
Yes, let me blow my nose really quick.
Then I finished the Advent socks.
Love. And those were Michelle?
Michelle from
Woolens and Osh.
Sorry, I wanted to call her Woolens and Cookies because that's what
Woolen cookies, yeah.
yeah,
Meg.
love them, love them. So this was her 2022 Advent socks, Targy base. Different. I only did the heel. Oh no, I did heel and toe.
And so that mini came with it?
Yes, came with it. And there was some left over. I could have easily done the cuff.
Nice.
I love them. Those are done. These I finished this morning for Barb for her birthday. Barb, don't watch this.
Is that Portal?
Portal
Love
with
it.
the Coffee Talk by Tracy.
Tracy Miller of the Grocery Girls.
Yep, I love them. She's got really small feet, so it worked really well.
Yeah.
Because I was getting tired of knitting them.
Perfect.
Those. Then I joined in the knit along, not really, but just on my own, in my own brain, for the scrappy socks, which is all I want to make right now.
I honestly, scrappy projects are so addicting because I swear it's the color change and like knowing that you're using up scraps.
It is. Most of these are our colorways. These are hedgehog. This one and this one.
Interesting.
Yeah, everything else I believe is ours from probably Advents. I was just grabbing.
Yeah.
I love them. I think Skittles is one of our best colors.
So good.
It's this
and
one, right?
So fun to knit with too because of all of the super saturated pops of color.
I'm going to show you a skein that I love so much. Look at that.
I'm it's honestly, I will always have a skein of it. I think I have another skein. I just used it up. Look at that.
I just am always in shock of how like they don't get muddy. Like the colors don't get muddy. They're just so vibrant. Like look at.
I love it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So scrappy socks.
Love.
Then, this is one of our other new colorways, Love Boat, which I love that colorway so much.
So do I.
Another Tracy pattern. Can never remember the name. Hello Sunshine. I love it. She is a fantastic sock pattern designer.
I love the back leg detail.
Yes. Now, I did that by mistake. I continued the twisted rib all the way down.
And is it just supposed to be regular ribbing?
I think it's supposed to be regular, but it just flows so beautiful that I forgot.
Yeah.
And I love it, but I'm not crazy about doing it there. I don't know why. It shouldn't matter. It's just like purling. Why is that harder or different?
It's just another element you have to remember. And when you're already auto-programmed to do a basic knit and a basic purl for ribbing, like for me, I'd be so nervous that like one stitch I'd just regular knit, which wouldn't be a big deal, but it's one of those things that'll nag at you.
I know. And again, this is the mini that comes with Love Boat. There might be two options there too. I cannot remember. You'd have to look.
I can't remember either.
But I love this so much. Look at that pattern.
It has such a like a vintagey feel to it.
doesn't it?
I like
So
it.
this is what Love Boat looks like in the skein. I love it. And actually, I think I have a Curiouser and Curiouser. Maybe I don't in the skein.
Curiouser and Curiouser, I love for like the limey yellow, like the really like
The pops.
yes, because there's not a lot of them. So when you come across one, it's so like
Yeah.
satisfying.
They're very subtle. Yeah.
Look.
Yeah. I know. I know. It's really, I do love it. I love it.
I do too.
So I did that sock, this sock. This one I have to cast on the second one still. Which I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do right away because I really enjoy this pattern. And then last but not least, and I can't remember if this, what was our summer solstice colorway?
Was it like fairy lights or something?
Can't remember. I think this is it.
Yeah.
And it's, of course, Kay Jones, Crazy Sock Lady, Heel
Oh.
Toe Do-Si Do.
That's Kay Litton.
I'm sorry, Kay Litton. Sorry.
Kay
Kay
Jones
Jones, Kay Litton, Kay. I'm sorry. There you go. Heel Toe Do-Si Do. I love it. I cannot wait to cast the next one on. It's one of my favorite. I say this a lot. You know what? There's so many sock patterns that I love.
Okay, well, for me, there's not a lot of sock patterns that I love, and that is one of my favorites. I've knit a shorty pair of DK weight ones.
So fast.
So fast, so addicting, so easy to read. Like I will sing its praises because I am not a huge textured sock girl. I think I have 2 or 3 that I go to, and that is one of them.
See this one, and then Kay Jones's. What's that one that we love? Trunkle.
Crunkled.
That's one of my favorites. I have a lot of favorites. I love knitting socks with patterns as long as they're memorizable. And there is something magic about this pattern.
It
It
100%.
flies. Yes.
And the minute I stopped knitting, though I wish I had them with me, but they're up in my sock drawer. The minute I stopped knitting them, my hands missed working the pattern. Does that make sense? It was like I've never experienced that before.
That I have to say is the monkey socks for me. Like I crave them. Crave them. So I think that's it for my socks, but that's a lot of socks.
It's a lot to be finishing up. So now are you motivated to finish them up because you want to cast on more, or are you motivated to finish them up just to know in your brain they're cleared?
I want to be done. I am tired of the bags and bags of projects that are here because I love them all. Like there's maybe 1 or 2 that I would say, not crazy about it. But typically I love them all. What I really want to do is get all these socks made and then go back to, I'd started two of Natalie's patterns, the mushrooms, which I never know the right name.
I don't know the name of the pattern, but it's her color work mushroom sock.
And I have it here and I started it. I'd like to get back to these. Look at those.
They're gorgeous. Her designs are just so well designed.
They're so fabulous.
Yeah.
The pattern's not in here. So again, who knows?
Look
at this gorgeous bag by Stitched by Jessalou.
I loved her. I love her bags.
I love her bags. And then I started the Christmas socks of Natalie's.
Oh,
the one that went with our stocking that she designed. I started a pair of those.
Nice.
So I kind of want to, I don't know, I'm in the mood to wrap things up.
I get this way before every spring, so I totally know what you mean.
Somebody said that about the spring, and I was like, oh, I wasn't thinking that, but probably is.
Yeah, I can definitely correlate mine to the change of seasons because it happens every year for me.
See, I just have a need to stop having bags and bags and bags of projects that aren't done. I would want to have like a limited amount of projects I'm working on and leave it at that.
Well, okay, so I'll tell you my experience with clearing my needles because I've done it a couple of times and I'm pretty close right now. I find it's really difficult to cast something on after I've cleared off my needles, which
I can feel that.
Yeah, like it might be a unique thing for me, or maybe it's a common thing. I would love for you guys to comment down below because I'm curious to know. But like
Well,
I
even oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
Even like casting on these last 2 socks, I'm dreading it, but I want them done.
Yes, I think in that instance, it would be easier for me to cast them on knowing that I'm just working my way towards the end. But
Yes.
it takes a lot. Like it would take a really enticing project for me to cast something on. And it always happens, and then I'll get into a rhythm and I'll cast things on. It's
Mhm.
not like I stop forever, but it definitely takes me a fair bit of time to find something new to cast on.
Yeah, and I have a couple sweaters that I want to finish. One I'm starting,
Mhm.
which is not good. Before we forget, okay, you guys, because we're gonna stop this. I'm gonna forget. This
Yes,
is the Wave of Change
by Denise
pullover.
Bayron. Oh, pullover. Yeah.
Yes, pullover. Yes, by Denise Bayron, and it is done in our chunky yarn Wonder, and I love it. And Kristen, if you follow her, did one in Sunrise Sunset that is to die for.
And she lives in it.
And she lives in it. So the thing is, like, you're not going to find this in our shop. What you need to do is, if you want to order a sweater's quantity of the chunky for any sweater, or actually any weight yarn of ours,
Yeah.
it's better if you're ordering a sweater's quantity to email us and request it, and we set up a special order. I do have the bare yarn in stock. I keep it in stock for those special orders. Okay, that's done. Sorry, I just knew we were going to get all the way done and forget.
I'm gonna need a special order at some point when I'm ready to cast one on because
I know.
Kristen made hers with long sleeves. And not only did she make them long sleeves, but she didn't taper to the cuff. So it's like a really wide bell sleeve. And I
Mhm.
am obsessed with her choices. I need to find a color that I want to do because that is how I want to knit my next one.
Yes, and she wants to knit another one too, so she needs to come up with another color.
Mhm.
Somebody asked this morning on my live, I believe I used 9 skeins. I wonder how much Kristen used.
Well, you dyed her up, I want to say 7, and I think she had one left over.
I would have said I dyed her 8,
So maybe you dyed her 8
but
and
I
she
don't know. We could look at the box that she,
yes, there was a photo.
yeah, there's a photo. But yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
so it's and that pattern goes so fast too. I think that might be like a fall cast on for me so that I can have it for the winter.
This I made because I wanted to wear it the day after Christmas. I wanted to bring it with me. I made it so fast.
Like a few weeks tops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could make it in a week if you have that kind of time,
Yeah.
because it's bulky, you're using big needles and it goes so fast.
And it's
And
such
it's
like
easy.
yeah. And I feel like the pattern itself is so timeless. Like it's not a trendy pattern. It's very just like simple, classic, like
Mhm.
a staple in the wardrobe. Like it's just amazing. I love it.
This is my 3rd time. I have 2 cardigans.
I know you do. And I love your
2
card. I
cardigans. I
knit the pullover.
love.
I know. I knit the pullover one and I didn't pull it out this year. I need to block it because I love the way Kristen's came out after it was blocked. I have
Mhm.
some finishing to do with it because I could be living in it and I'm just not. I pulled out very little of my knitwear this year.
And you know what? It took me till the end of the winter to start. Like,
Yeah.
I've been living in my, what's the one with
Turtle Dove?
turtle dove I pulled out, but the cinnamon sticks.
Oh my gosh. It's not a ranunculus, but it looks like a ranunculus.
The other
Love
one.
notes. Love notes.
Love notes. I have 2 of those I've been living in. I have an old sweater, earthy crunchy, that I've been living
The
in.
purple one.
Purple, one of my favorite sweaters. It's a real like dusky purple.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful and it's so warm. It's timeless. I bring that like when I come to your house, I wear it.
Yeah.
And what I feel like there's been a couple I've been rotating and I'm like, people are going to get tired of seeing these because you notice them, right? Because they're so pretty. Like, say I go somewhere with friends, like, you know me, I find something I like and I wear it till it's dead. And, I know. And I'm like, and it's the sweaters that I choose, like, this is noticeable. When you have this on, people notice it.
Yes.
So yeah, people are probably like, she needs to get some new sweaters going on.
If they know you make them, they're not thinking that.
That's true.
At
That's
least
true.
I wouldn't as a knitter. If I saw that, I'd be like, I would wear that every single friggin' day.
Mhm. I live in this one because it's so warm.
Yes, that bulky weight yarn is definitely
I love our bulky weight.
same. Okay. I
So
was
what are
gonna
you working on?
I think that's what I'm gonna go to next because I've been working on it and I wonder if people are wondering what it is. But of
And
course
I have one too.
well, I just started a row, which was really silly of me.
Oh, okay. I can show mine and you can keep going.
Perfect.
What's the name of it? Do we remember the name?
Yes. Yours is the seasons pullover.
Seasons pullover. Look at this, you guys.
Ma. Oh, it's
I'm
by
supposed to
Oz.
wear this to Rhinebeck.
Should we all be doing these for Rhinebeck?
It's really warm. Mine will be super warm. Mine is with our non-superwash, which is dreamy. 100% merino, worsted weight. Look at this. It's gorgeous.
It's stunning.
Espresso bean. Now, I
Stunning.
will admit I did not alternate skeins because I can't figure out how to do that with this stitch. It'd be
Yeah,
too
so
hard.
it's half fisherman's rib for anyone that is curious. It looks a lot like brioche, but it is not. It's much simpler than brioche. So
So easy. Like okay, this is our fabric thread. Look at, I'm on the sleeve. I'm ready to do the sleeve.
oh my gosh, you should be fit or well, I say that now because I'm knitting mine, but
But
man,
you know what? I should come visit because as you like, Kristen could be knitting Benny's, you could be knitting yours, and I'd be like, I have to knit it. Like, because
yes.
I always have to know what people are going to work on. So I make sure to bring it. Bless you, bless you, bless you.
Coughing.
Oh, so I make sure to bring it because when I see someone doing something, I need to be doing the same thing, or
I
it makes me crazy. So yeah, oh, I love it.
The designer is Ozetta. She has a lot of very, again, classic, timeless patterns on her in her Ravelry shop. I also believe she has kids.
Oh, I'm working on another Rosetta. She's my favorite right now.
Oh, let me see. While I'm still going because these
Oh, you're
were
still going. Okay, so
very
I
long.
have been dreaming about this one for a long time, and I love it so much.
Lake.
It's very classic. The only thing I was like really wanting the rag look almost
Yeah.
for yarn. And I've got all this yarn. I really, again, want to kind of clean up the area.
Mhm.
So I found this gorgeous, huge Blue Moon Fiber Arts Targhee that we have gotten in years past. I can't believe we didn't look this year.
We this year was such a bust for yarn purchases for me. I got two skeins,
Same,
which I'm obsessed with, but um
same.
yeah, I was not really planning for yarn this year.
I feel like we were more about like just wandering and visiting. We didn't have a lot of intention of what we wanted, but this is gorgeous. I have 3 skeins of it. This is like 600 yards for one, so I have plenty. And I cast on, I'm doing the saddle shoulder. Sorry, my words. I love the color. I still am going to want to make one in that earthy crunchy. That might be my purchase next year.
Yeah.
But I'm also really into the earth tones right now.
Yes.
I love brown. I've always loved brown. So this is one of the saddle shoulders. The construction is very unique, very unique.
Is
And
it difficult to understand how to do it, or is it easy enough to follow?
she's got a great diagram. Like you have, I'm not going to give too much away, but you have the two saddle shoulders, and you pick up stitches and then cast on stitches, then pick up stitches. So, and that's going to be your neck.
Okay. Yep, that makes sense.
I think it has a rolled neck, which isn't always my favorite, but I can also change that.
A rolled neck I don't love, but a rolled sleeve and a rolled hem. Well, not even a rolled hem, honestly. A rolled sleeve I really like.
I'm not saying you're thinking of curled, right? That's not what I
Yeah.
meant.
Oh,
No,
you're talking about like a folded.
yeah, sorry.
Got you. Yes, 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 yes.
It's
I like a
I
folded
find
hat.
I do too, I just find it technically a little bit of a struggle for me.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Again, the directions that I'm experiencing so far are fantastic. And I love her designs. They are so me. They're so classic. Like this, the one we're working on, like dad had that sweater from LL Bean in cream. I had to throw it away. It was disgusting.
I remember he would wear it to mow the lawn sometimes.
It's all he ever wore. And
It
it
was
was just,
cotton, wasn't it?
it was a cotton blend, I think.
Yeah.
I literally had to throw it away one day and claim somebody came in the house and stole it.
The moths literally picked it up and fluttered
It
away.
looked like that for sure.
I know,
For
I know, I
sure.
remember it.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Well, I'm still in the middle of my row, but kind of on all of those same notes, a la cream garments and folded necklines, I have a finished object to show. So I'm going to show that so that I'm actually participating and not just sitting here and knitting.
it's okay.
But
It's
I'll show this in a minute because mine's the cardigan. So I do think it's important to show it and so you can see like kind of the difference.
and it's gorgeous.
I love it. And I want to talk on the yarn choice. I want to talk on it all, but I also want to be able to like show it to you open. So I started and finished since the last time we podcasted, the Friday Slipover by Petite Knit. I knit it out of our vanilla bean colorway. I don't have any idea. Oh, it is showing good. It has a folded neckline like we just talked about.
Hard.
Say it again.
Was it hard?
No,
Did you knit it together or did you sew it together?
sewed it. I cannot
Okay.
knit it. I cannot knit it
I
together.
can't either. So that's helpful. I can sew it.
That's the thing. I tried one time and it just ended up super twisted. And I was like, you know what? There's no need for me to do that when I can very easily sew it. Because honestly, like, would you
That's
ever
a
even
good, but you know what? I'm glad that you did it that way and we're talking about it because that is a perfect option.
totally? And for me, it just has always worked better.
Same.
So the only thing I have not done with this is I haven't blocked it, which I'm really disappointed in myself because I wanted to block it by now, but um it's just I love it. It's really classic looking. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep it cream or if I'm going to dye the whole garment in like a natural type of a dye. I'm going to keep it cream for now for sure. But
That's interesting. I honestly love the cream. It's such a classic look.
I do
But
too.
I also think, but you also knit it so fast. You could knit another one easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a great, great pattern. I do have a project page with all the details because I couldn't even begin to tell you sizing or anything. All I can tell you is that it was our DK weight vanilla bean colorway. It was quick. You work it, excuse me, you work it flat and then you join it for the round. The one thing I will say that I noticed, and you can kind of see it on screen there, is my gauge changed a bit, working flat, then moving to in the round. You can kind of, can you
It
see
does.
that line?
Yeah.
Which I like intellectually, I know that that happens, but I wasn't anticipating it. So that when the garment was done, I was like, I was like, oh, this is going to have to be something that I fix.
So what you could do is just go down a needle size.
I could do that. I could do that. However, I finished it before I thought of that. So I'm just,
Not on this one. I'm talking the next one.
I feel, yes, exactly. So I honestly think once it blocks out, you're not,
It's going to be fine.
you're not going to know. And honestly, I don't even care. It was just something worth noting.
Well, you know what? Like the more I think about things lately, it's like all these things that people are so meticulous and, and for some people that's just so important. And I understand that. It's really more realizing what's going to show and what isn't.
Right.
Right. Even when we pull things back, like, is anyone really going to be that close to you that's going to notice that?
Right. I feel like for me, the only time I will pull back, with of course there are exceptions, but is if it changes like stitch count, if it affects my ability to move forward in the pattern.
Absolutely. And for me, it's the same thing. Or if as I'm continuing to work on it, it's bothering me. Like my body is like it sounds really weird, but like anxious about it or whatever, then it's like, you know what? I'm not enjoying the process. I need to pull it back in order to enjoy the process.
Right.
So that's how I judge it.
Yeah, definitely agree. I believe this is knit in broken rib is what it's called.
I think you're right.
And then, but look at this gorgeous detailing along the neckline, how it like follows along.
It's gorgeous.
It's just, I really, really love it. And I would recommend this pattern to anybody looking for a nice, like classic vest.
And did you say, I don't remember who did it?
Petite knit.
Petite knit. Okay. You're a real petite knit knitter.
I do. I like her patterns. Again, they're very simple. They're very classic.
Yep.
So yeah,
I love it.
that's my finished object. And then let me see. Do you have anything else to show?
Trying to think. I don't. I'm sure I do.
If you
but
don't, I
didn't-
can very easily just show.
Well, the last thing we can show is our blankets and talk
Yes.
about our blankets.
That's the last thing I have to show. So I will just do it like this because it's really not that big of a difference. So again, this is the Seasons Cardigan by Ozetta. And I am to the ribbing. I think I only have another 1/2 inch of ribbing to go. And then I start the sleeves. So there are these, so something really interesting about the construction as you're knitting this sweater is you will have deep, if you choose to do the cardigan version, you will have DPNs hanging at either end of your long cord. Now I don't right now because now that I'm on the ribbing, it's all the same size. So this is obviously not an applied button band. It is a button band that you knit with. For me, it was US size 7s, and then the rest of the body is in 9s. And then when you get down to the ribbing, you are back down to just 7s for the whole thing. So it's a little finicky in that way. Go ahead.
It's a game changer though for cardigan, really. When you think of like the cardigans that we've made where you pick up the button band, like to have it already incorporated in a pattern is like a gift.
It's just so seamless too. Like the look of it is really, really seamless. I love it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to, so in the pattern, she has these really, like it calls for pretty large buttons. So I want to try and find some really fun, like maybe fabric ones. You know what I'm talking about, where they're like textured almost.
Yes.
But I cast this on with the hopes that it will be my like springtime gardening sweater. So like when it's chilly out, but I want to be out in the garden cleaning things out and like getting the beds ready, I could have this on and not worry about it getting dirty because I knit it out of 100% acrylic yarn. Now I know environmentally, I just have to say it to get it out of the way. I understand that there are implications and consequences to knitting with a 100% acrylic yarn. That being said, I do it very rarely. And because I knew I wanted this to be like a real outdoor sweater for me, there was just no other option. One, cost-wise, it made a lot of sense for me at that point.
It makes a lot of sense for a lot of people. It's the only way they're able to knit.
100%.
So I do feel like it is, I get exactly what you're saying. But there are people that wouldn't be able to knit.
Otherwise, I agree with you.
Right.
I
Right.
entirely agree with you. And honestly, like acrylic yarn is not what it used to be. This is beyond soft.
Yeah.
Beyond, it's so cozy, it's so soft. I will show you, I got it at Michael's, I believe. And I'm just finishing a ball. It is Craft Smart Value, and this is the blush colorway. So this is what it looks like. And I'm just really looking forward to it. The ability to wash it and dry it and not really have to think about it. I don't care how it wears. If it pills to the high heavens, I will get a gleaner and I will glean it. Like it is just going to be my like, just like my everything for the spring, I think, because I am outside so often. So,
and it might not pill at all.
It might not. Like I don't know. I've never really worn a 100% acrylic garment.
I don't know if I have either.
Yeah. But you'd be astonished. Like this even has a freaking halo. Like look at that.
Well, between the yarn and the stitch pattern, that creates that like
cozy.
Yeah.
It's going to be slightly oversized, which I would try it on, but like
Love.
it's gonna, yeah, slightly oversized, nice big buttons. Like I just think it is going to be
You're
lovely.
going to live in it.
I know. I'm looking forward to it.
I love it.
So, okay, that is my, again, there's a project page if I missed any details that you were wanting to know about, just go and click on it.
And
Um,
I'm so mad I forgot to bring in my crochet blanket. I call it my Hocus Pocus Granny Square.
oh yeah.
Next time. Help me remember next time because it's in the other room and I feel like we still have enough to chat about.
Oh, you know what? Before we show the blankets, though, I wanted to show these because I don't know a full podcast again before Easter. And if any makers out there have little ones that they're looking to fill Easter baskets for, I just wanted to show these. So I knit the Spring Charm Set by Susan B. Anderson. I did this about a month ago. And I had these little linen bags from one of our precious parcels from last year left over. So I just printed the girls' names.
Oh, now didn't they come? A lot of her patterns come with bags. They come in like drawstring bags. Oh, I bought the whole kit. You
I
didn't
was
buy
going
the
to say I didn't buy a kit.
Yeah.
I actually used all of my, not all of it, but all of these were knit with leftovers from my Stress Knits advent calendar.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay.
So I did that. I need to finish a carrot for Lily, but let me show you what they look like. These are intended to be a garland, but these are just going to be little toys that the kiddos are going to get in their Easter baskets.
Oh, and they love their toys.
They do love their knit toys.
Oh my
So
gosh, those will go in their fairy gardens.
aren't they sweet?
So sweet.
So just I wanted to pop them up here for anybody who is like, oh, I'd like to make a little something for Easter, but I don't want it to like overwhelm my knitting schedule. Are they fiddly? Heck yes, they are. Are they worth it? Heck yes, they are. Because right as you're getting past the fiddly bit, you only have a teeny bit more to knit before you're closing it up and stuffing it. So
You made those you had so much fun making those.
so much fun.
You did. I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, those look so fun.
They were a blast.
And
So
the girls love anybody that's like has a baby coming. For your shower for Lily, knit like so many little like creatures and had them all around the house. And the girls have used those to death.
they're like
They
some of their
love
favorites.
them.
Mhm.
They're just so soft. Quite often I didn't put eyes on them. Even the safety eyes I was not comfortable with. And oh my gosh, I just love how much they love them.
They're so simple and they've just grown up with knitted. We're so fortunate that they grew up with knitted toys. So it's like they really value them and play with them and aren't super precious. Like it's just they use them and they have
They
fun.
use them, which I always in the past, and I think a lot of people thought, oh, they're cute decorations. And they are. They're beautiful decorations, but their play value is really high.
Huge.
Really high. So yeah. Yeah. I love how much they play with them.
I know. I might still knit them something else if I get the motivation and I clear my needles and I'm like, oh, I don't know. That's actually something that I do have other projects that I could talk about, but we're not. I made mittens. I made a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of like small stuff. But once I clear my needles, those are things that I tend to go to are like toys or like little accessories for the kids. That's where I go to.
Yes. And Susan B. Anderson is one of my favorite, and Susan Claudino, who's no knit Sherlock, I believe.
Oh, I don't know her handle. I don't know that I even follow her, to be honest.
I don't know that I must because anyway, she does monsters. She does great stuff.
I want to knit a couple monsters for the girls.
Yeah. Oh, they would love them. Love them.
Okay.
So should we take a minute and talk about the Creative Seed?
Yes.
And then you've also gone public with your Chelsea Makes in certain areas. Let's just do a quick blurb on both of those things because people may not be aware of them.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm putting you in charge.
Okay. So, as we alluded to at the beginning of this podcast, we now we co-host an audio podcast that begins its journey over on our new Patreon page. You can opt in for a $3 a $10 and or an $18. I think those are the costs.
Mhm. I think so.
Tier for $10 you get the audio, for $18 you get the audio and the video, and for $3 every once in a while we will put up a blog post or a snippet out of our conversation, and that's what you get from there. We really created that option for anyone who wanted to financially support us in another way but didn't want to dive into a 10 or an $18, because we know that that can be a lot of money. So
Mhm.
but so these are all conversations centered around creativity and a creator's lifestyle, a creator's challenges, benefits. We just kind of really dive into the whole creative process. And I don't know about you, but I know for me, since we started this podcast, I have so much more ability to access my creativity and really like dive into it. And I think that might just be personal benefits that we're getting from it because we're processing through a lot of things together.
Mhm.
Um, but for anybody that does not want to belong to Patreon, just before I forget to say this, we are over on Spotify. What we are doing is we are at the end of every month, we are releasing the audio files onto a Spotify channel for free for anybody that would like to catch up with our conversations and listen to them.
Yes. We really do appreciate the patrons though, because they are really the ones that make us able to do it. So we're so grateful for them. The reason that I really love this project we're doing is because it took me so long to really understand how I ticked as a creative.
Mm-hmm.
It took me way too long. And to be okay with it and to embrace it and there's just so much involved in it because it's a really important piece of our brain that is not really acknowledged by a lot of people. Like when you look at school systems, the first things to go are all the arts, and they're so important. And it's like, I remember really, I don't know if I have the right words for it, but resenting the fact that the only thing acknowledged in school is how smart you are. Like that's so important how smart someone is. And the creative side is not acknowledged as being so amazing and so important. And so it's a real passion for me. We've talked about this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day it just all started to click and how we would do this. And it's a really important project for me, I think. And it just goes so much deeper than just being a creative
I
and
completely
how
agree.
to do that. It's for me, it's more like the psychology around it, right? It's like, so yeah, so I love it. I find it like I'm already like, oh, Sunday's around the corner. Oh, because we typically, if we can, we do twice a month or every 2 weeks we do it. And most likely it's on a Sunday. But if we're not really feeling it or there's something going on, we postpone it into another part of the week,
Mm-hmm.
which we did last time. And we talked about it. We were so happy we did because we were able to really do it better than we would have on that Sunday. We were more prepared, I think, for it.
Yeah, I think for us, especially with these conversations, because they are so important to us, like we would rather have the quality be there than just to check the box and say, okay, the episode's
We did
done.
it.
Like we
Yeah,
want to really like have it be a valuable conversation, and sometimes postponing it or doing it early gets us in the place where like it can be more beneficial for everyone.
for everyone. Yes. Yeah, it's really exciting. I really love it.
I do too. I love just doing it, and like it's great that people listen, but I think even if people weren't listening, I would value these conversations.
I
Like it's
agree.
really wonderful. Um
Yeah, I totally agree on that. It's like I feel like I think the part that's the hardest for me, and it requires a great amount of vulnerability. It's very different than this podcast, which I mean,
We're
we
open
are who we
books.
are here.
Right.
But there you have to really go to a deeper spot, which can make you very vulnerable, and it's scary.
Mhm.
It's scary. But people really, we've gotten so many great comments, and people have told me over on my Instagram live feed that they just love it. And that just means so much. It really does. So yeah. So if you can and you're able,
We would love to
go
have you as
for
a
it.
patron. Yes.
Yep. If you're not able to, you still can enjoy it. You're just a month behind,
Right.
about a month behind, and they're there.
They're
So
there to enjoy. So that is a
yes.
big thing. And then another thing that mom said, which is very true, is I've opened up a Chelsea Makes YouTube channel. Now, that is not taking away from my Patreon account. It is kind of more of a complement to it. Again, I want to have a wider audience to have access to some of these videos. Not all of them, because still over on Chelsea Makes, you're going to get the more like behind the scenes type content. Whereas on the YouTube channel, you are going to get a more like polished, edited version of videos. And that is just because my family is involved. So I kind of have to have some discretion where
Yes.
the whole world having access to it isn't always the best idea. So, but anyways, I'm loving being over there. I upload every Friday with a new video. And yeah, it's just been a lot of fun. So if you are interested in more of like those life updates that we were chatting about earlier this episode, you can go over and subscribe if you would like to my channel, because that is where you can kind of like keep up with the comings and goings over here on our little quarter-acre homestead.
You
Less
have
than
the
a quarter.
tiniest piece of land, which you use so well. I would kill for that tiny piece of land.
Oh, I'm gonna call it the postage stamp farm, or the.
I know.
I need to come up with like a cute
It's
name.
perfect for you guys. Yeah, so I have not even watched it. Is the chicken one up there?
No, that one's over on Patreon. So that's another benefit that Patreon gets, is all of my YouTube videos they get access to immediately after I'm done editing them. Whereas if you are a subscriber on YouTube, you can just reliably count on a new video every Friday.
Your Patreon feed is fantastic.
Thank you. I try my best.
It really, I'm sorry, I'm dropping yarn now. It really is, and it's such a great community.
I love
It
the
really
community.
is. It's just, I love it because I get to like when I'm missing everyone, I just go watch a video.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's
Like,
nice.
oh, and even like your advents are the best. And that for me allows me to be like a big part of your Christmas celebration, because it's really a month-long celebration and it's so fun.
It is my favorite project that I do. Like, I will always say that that is my favorite as it pertains to Chelsea Makes. Vlogmas will always be my favorite.
I mean, it is an ungodly amount of work, no
It
question.
is. It is.
But you do it really, really well.
Thank you. It is so fun. I love it. I truly love doing it. So yes, that's a new development over in the Chelsea Makes area. And now we have a little bit of yarn to talk about before we head out.
We do. We have one major project that's kind of a year-long project that we've committed to, and we are I'm so excited about it. So excited.
I love it. I am obsessed with this.
So, and it's not too late. You're never going to be too late. Just so you know that. No, we are on our third installment, and depending, Chelsea, how quickly you get this up.
The final day to order March's mini skeins is going to be at the end of this Friday. So Friday the 17th.
Yes. And so what we'll do though is, if this podcast, like if you can't quite get it up, I'll try to give it a little extra time. I just need enough time.
I should be able to. I'm hoping to get it up tomorrow.
Okay.
Which
perfect.
is
Thursday. That's right. I'm thinking today is Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So we both started these gorgeous Jelly Roll by the fabulous Kay Jones of the bakery bears. And we had started them, and I can't remember if it was you or me. I don't remember. We were like, we should do a DK mini skein club once a month. I didn't hear you.
I think it was you.
Oh, once a month, we'll bring out 6 skeins. I'll dye 6 new colorways. They can be old colorways that we dyed at the very beginning that are no longer available. They can be solids. They can be semi-solids. We don't know. So we started in January. So now it's March. The March ones haven't been dyed yet.
I was talking to Lacey yesterday, and she was like, Chelsea, I am like salivating waiting for these mini skeins.
I know.
Can't wait.
People, because 6 are manageable for the month, so they get so excited about it. Look at, I went smaller here and I'm loving it.
Same, I did my little mini one right here.
Yep. So we get creative as we go along. So I'm doing 2 smaller rows, and then I'm going to do 1 or 2 bigger rows, then 2 smaller, and then finish it off so that it's symmetrical, because you know I'm so symmetrical.
Got it.
So what we're doing is at the beginning of the month, either at the very end of March or the beginning of April, we put up a pre-order. You get, is it 6? Am I right saying that?
I think so. That sounds right to me.
Yes, 6 mini skeins. We do a pre-order, we close it. I usually do a few extra for stragglers, but really last month I thought I did and they were gone, like already gone. I think I had 1 extra. I don't even write down the formulas. I take a day or 2 and just fill my oven. This time it might take 2 because I think we have more than normal. Fill my oven and then they go right out. I'm pretty prompt because I know how excited people are. So I know when I'm excited about something, I want it like that.
Yeah.
So I try to, once it closes, really get them out. So yeah, so that's it. And we have something really exciting going on right now that can add to this if you choose.
Yes. So I wanted to make a couple of notes of this. Okay. This is not the traditional jelly roll blanket. We modified it to be DK. So if and when you decide you want to start this, if you want to use our mini skein club to do it, like Mom said, you can start it at any month with any of your DK weight scraps. Like, this is not all the mini skein of the month club. Like, just use whatever you've got, and then you can use the club minis to just add to it.
Yes.
And so I will say, if you are accommodating it to DK weight, the only thing you have to change is your needle size to get the gauge you want. I know, Mom, you use
I use a 4.
4, and I believe I'm using, I want to say I might be using I'm using a 5. So really, whatever your comfortable DK weight gauge is, just change the needles out. That's it.
Yes. And I will tell you, we're going to talk about my needle so I love, when I'm working on a project like this, I love having the best needle that I love the most because it makes the experience even better. So I love the signature needles. It's the 7-inch stiletto. So they're super sharp. I love the 7-inch. I chose the Bell, maybe. I can't remember. You choose that. It is a game changer for me when it comes to this blanket. Like, literally, I'm dying to work on it. Like, when this sock is done, I think I'm going to do a few, because I haven't done all of February's yet. I've lost track of what our February's or February. So they're not cheap, but they're worth it.
Totally. Well, and
we have some. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was going to say, we do have some people that are like, got my needles. It's a game changer.
Yeah. Yeah, they're an investment, but I do feel like, for you especially, they are worth every penny.
Every penny. So I love them. And look, I have my little jelly donut.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I don't have any on mine right now.
Well, I kind of just needed one. So it's in this, I need to get a bigger basket because I've outgrown it.
Yeah, mine lives in my Molly basket that I got so many years ago.
And I will say, I have been, until recently, really good about weaving in my ends, and I'm going to get back to it because it does make a difference. Darn it, I should have never touched this because now it's all I want to do. I have a pretty easy day, so I think I can.
So
So
good.
last but not least, should we talk about our new line of colors?
Yes, please, because I'm obsessed with them. They're already available online. They're right on our homepage. So all my work is done, and besides a newsletter, which I will be sending out. Do you want to talk on
So
that?
what did you end up labeling them as? A side of speckle?
I did tonals with a twist, and then I did like the colorway names like you did on the label. So it's like dewdrop with speckles or
Yes. So basically what they are, there are a lot of our tonals. I'll go through them, but look at these. There's 11 new ones. So what they are is there are tonals that are then speckled. This came to me after dyeing the mini skein to a love boat because I fell so in love with this mini skein.
Well, and you also did it for Curiouser and Curiouser.
I did. Oh, yep. See? So it must have been coming. So minty. Now, what you have to realize for some of these, when the dye breaks, you can get some really cool colors in there. Like on this. Oh, I always forget the cameras up here.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of that limey green, a little bit of blue. It's not like all throughout, but it does like see there. You get that nice minty.
Espresso bean.
Espresso bean. Oh my gosh. For sweaters.
Well, I literally just decided what color I'm going to do my
Wave of change. Which
yes.
one? This one?
No, dewdrop.
Oh, dewdrop is my favorite. I had another thought about this a minute ago. So I look at it as like sweaters, socks that have really intense patterns that you want to really see that pattern, like a cable sock, a cookie sock, not necessarily the monkey sock because the speckles just add so much to that.
Yeah.
But cabling and oh, there's so much you could do. And if you like have a man in your life that's very traditional and like wants just really toned down socks, like what a great skein.
Yeah.
What a great skein. Aquanet.
So fun.
So fun. Oh, I love it so much.
That really is so gorgeous.
I'm going to save the best for last because I almost didn't dye it. Raspberry sorbet, which is just socks with this.
Delicious.
Love it. Peaches and cream. I've done this one for oh my brain. I swear to God, I start talking and my brain goes too fast and I can't keep up with my thoughts. I think this was another mini for
oh, okay. I don't know.
Dewdrops.
That's mine.
I think it's my favorite.
It's mine. I'm 100% doing my waves of change.
Isn't it perfect? Perfect. Hydrangea, of course. Hydrangea is another one that when it breaks, sometimes you can get a little, why do I think, because I'm doing it to my picture, a little bit of fuchsia can pop out there once in a while.
Which I love.
Your favorite, fox paws.
Love it. That would be gorgeous for like a little, I've been really contemplating shawlettes for this spring for some reason. Wouldn't that be beautiful as a one color shawlette?
Well, we're going to talk about how these, if you're doing like a 3-color shawl, all of these go with all of our speckles. Lavender and lace. Love. Another one when it breaks can do a little, like some really cool funky stuff. Grey Gardens. You can't go anywhere without Grey Gardens.
I just love how much more depth it gives the skein.
The texture. I love a yarn with texture, but sometimes speckles, oh, people are buying them like crazy. Sorry. The thing is with a typical speckled yarn like this, like yes, you get texture, but this gives you texture and depth, right?
It's like definition too. Like you also maintain that definition, which is really cool.
Yes. Now you had said to me, Mom, do a yellow. And I was like, it was the last one I did. I was like tired. I'm like, how bad do we need that yellow? Like, oh, but I felt so drawn to it. Like I had in my head, like, I'm not going to do it and it would be fantastic. I still was struggling. I was so tired. I was like, oh, I don't want to do one more. Oh my God.
I love it so much.
It's perfection.
Well, and
I
the
want to make a pair of socks.
well, and the name, say the name because that just makes
Daffodil,
daffodil, of course.
because it is daffodil. So, like, holy cow, look at like how complimentary. Sorry, I'm just looking. 3-color shawl. Oh my gosh.
Come on.
So, because of that, it's really hard and overwhelming to look at our website and try to put 3 colors together. This is something we did a long time ago when shawls were like everything, right?
Mhm.
People would say, can you send a picture of this, this, and this? Quite often we can. Now, I don't always have every color in stock. That is a problem. Or they might say, what do you think of Love Boat, Dewdrop, and Daffodil? And we know, because we're so like ingrained in these colors, we know quite often to say that would be fabulous.
Right.
So if you just need reassurance,
Right.
it's a
Or like,
really good thing.
yeah, like if someone said, like, what do you think of like daffodil, hydrangea, and love boat? Then I feel like what we would do is we'd say, oh, like that'd be pretty, but I think what would really make it pop is dewdrop. Like we will definitely like alter it to what we think would be best, but we will also send you your original idea in photographic form. That way you can decide for yourself.
Yes, exactly. So, and then last but not least, I didn't want to, but I knew I had to dye them in mini skeins. So yes, if you're doing your DK blanket, these would be a great add-on.
This could really pump it up for you.
It could. And to save, save, don't knit them all at once unless you want to, but save them for when yours came. Now, I'm trying to think back. This might have been one of them in one of the things. I can't guarantee that.
Right.
But I know from here on out, I will not be using, I have a double there, these colorways as the monthly.
Right.
Trying to get them all in there. But they would be a super fun add-on. They are also in the steel toes base.
So you have a fingering or a DK option. So if you have a fingering weight jelly roll blanket already going and you want to zhuzh it up a little with some of these new colorways from us, that's a really fun bundle to have.
It is a fun bundle. I didn't want to do it. I was like, no, I don't want to do all those minis. Minis are hard. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
They're hard.
A lot of
They
work.
really are. They take a lot of time, a lot of energy. But I knew they'd be worth it. I knew it. So I'm so glad I went ahead and did it. The racks are full behind me. I've still got to like wrap them all up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's our new line. And I am so excited about them.
Same. Well, and I also think it just, again, kind of goes to show like we haven't been dyeing a lot of yarn. It's just been the mini club so far this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think leaving that space for you, like, that's what allowed this genius idea. I think it's a genius idea myself.
When it hit me, yeah, like it's funny because we always do our signature, and then Love Boat was like our Valentine's Day. But it's just been hard to be like, wow, nothing's really hitting me. And when this hit me, it was like, oh my gosh, because they're so versatile. There's so much you can do with them.
Yeah.
Like sweater.
I know.
And some of the colors I didn't, we've done spring lines. They've been successful. Again, I wasn't like really, nothing was hitting me. A lot of these are very springy and gorgeous, but you also have your deeper, like your earth tones. And I didn't just focus on spring.
Right.
So yeah.
So that's
so excited. Just a side note, I am going to say, because the DK, if we do get lots of orders for them, they may take just a hair longer because it depends on how many, I might have to get some more yarn in stock for those.
Right, exactly.
So just know, I mean, usually it's a week out at the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At the most. So yeah.
Sounds good.
That's that.
And that's that, folks. We just recorded a podcast.
It's a miracle, a Christmas miracle. It is lunchtime. I am starving.
It is lunchtime. I don't know when Justin has to get to work. We need to make a run to the grocery store. So
And you are getting slammed by snow.
I literally can't even talk about it. It's been falling for 48 hours straight. Like we probably have over 2 feet out there.
I know, and because we've gotten so little, that sounds so like dreamy. But I also don't have two little kids that are stuck in the house. Not that they're stuck in the house. They go play in the snow a lot, but it's an endeavor.
That's the thing. Like I am at the point now, we are mid-March. It is less than a week before the first day of spring, and we have over 2 feet of snow on the ground. I want to have the door open, the screen there. I want them to be able to go play while I'm cooking. I want them to be able to, because we have such a little piece of land, like I can see them and hear them no matter where they are. They need it too. They
need it. They're such outdoor kids. You can tell because they go outside in bare feet in the snow.
Bare feet? Do you mean naked? Because yes, they wear their birthday suit out in the snow. I swear they would just like absorb into the earth if they could, which I love, but oh.
I know. Snow's hard. I was not good at it. I was not good at bundling you guys up and getting you out.
I mean, it has now become Justin's thing after work. It won't be today because we've had this morning, but like it's like a workout getting there, and they can even do a lot of it themselves, but like especially when you're sick, like getting the boots on and the things over the things and the
I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh no, we don't play that game. It's before or you're gonna warm yourself up outside. Your legs are gonna be real warm and then real
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I say I lost my knitting.
I've got mine.
Oh, right here. I have to pull back. I made a mistake. I cannot talk anymore. I mean, I can do normal knitting. This little bit of a month. Yeah, I can usually, but anyways, oh my gosh, thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys so much for being here. If you do not already, please subscribe to this channel. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. It'll help us gain more exposure in the YouTube world.
If
not, move right along. There's lots of content to enjoy. That is not us. So yes, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for being patient while we release this episode just a lot longer later than we had anticipated. We love you guys for being here.
We love you for being here.
Needles up.
Needles up.
Bye.